Hey guys, it's Congressman Mike Garcia from Washington, D.C. Checking in for another weekend review. I'm currently out here in the swamp, heading back home this weekend for some events in the community and then back here next week. I want to first honor the life of Deputy Jonathan Bouchon, who unfortunately took his own life last weekend in Saugus at the Mabel's bar there. Just heartbreaking, and my heart and condolences go out to his family as well as all of our sheriff deputies in Santa Clarita and the Antelope Valley as well. So please take care of our law enforcement. Let's take care of each other. If folks are struggling with issues, let's communicate about it. I also want to recognize and observe National Holocaust Day in honor of the millions of folks who lost their lives to evil in the midst of the worst genocide that this planet has ever seen at the hands of Nazi Germany. We can't ever forget. As you know, I stand strong with the Jewish community, and the nation of Israel is the most strategic partner to the United States of America. And so today we honor them. We honor the veterans who fought for the liberties and freedoms and preventing that tyranny and evil from spreading around the planet during World War II as well. So I want to give you an overview of what we've done this week, give you an overview of committee assignments that we've gotten notified of. Very good news on the committee assignments front. And also give you a look forward of things coming up. But as always, constituent services is the most important thing that we do, okay? So please subscribe to our newsletter. If you have any issues with a federal agency, whether it's the IRS, Social Security, or any other federal agency, reach out to us. Our website is mikegarcia.house.gov, and you can click on subscribe to newsletter and also reach out to our office via phone call or electronically through email. We did get a good list of committee assignments this week. As you know, earlier in this week I was assigned to the House Permanent Select Committee for Intelligence. This is a very critical committee, obviously all things intelligence at the highest classification levels. So to be named to that committee is a huge honor. I don't have subcommittee assignments yet for that, but hopefully looking forward to those next week. As well as I'm still sitting on the Appropriations Committee, which is one of the most powerful committees. This is where the power of the purse in Congress is administered. And we did get the subcommittee assignments for that. The first subcommittee I'll be on is the Defense Subcommittee. Again, a very critical subcommittee with an appropriations, and obviously with the amount of aerospace and defense in California 27 and the Antelope Valley, Aerospace Valley. This is a huge opportunity for our office to help our district, but also to look out for our nation's security. And with my background, that's a great fit. The second subcommittee is Commerce, Justice, and Science. This has appropriations authority over NASA, Department of Justice, grants that go to our law enforcement. So again, looking forward, I was on this last session, looking forward to continue to support all the aerospace activities from NASA, but also support our law enforcement through the DOJ with the grants that go to local law enforcement, like what our sheriffs have been able to take advantage of in the past. And then the third appropriations subcommittee is the Energy and Water Development Subcommittee. Obviously, this is anything from nuclear power to water resources, which in California we all know is a big deal. So these are fantastic subcommittees on appropriations. And I still do have the third committee, Space, Science, and Technology Committee. This has authority and oversight of NASA, of all things related to not just space, but also science activities, research and development in a lab. So three good committees, also fantastic subcommittees on appropriations. I'll find out the subcommittees for space, science, technology, as well as intelligence, hopefully next week. This week I introduced a bill called the FIRE Act. This is a Fire Information and Reaction Enhancement Act. This allows federal resources to be downloaded to the states in allowing them to predict and manage fires better. This will get more resources to our firefighting agencies in California. This is a big deal. Also signed on to the Stop the Cartels Act, and what this does is it allows the federal government to start treating these cartels like the threat that they are to our nation's security. Allows us to hopefully mitigate this disaster at our open border that's being caused by the administration, and allows us to go chase financial resources, put freeze on assets, and hopefully disincentivize them from continuing to commit to this human smuggling and humanitarian nightmare at our border. I also sent a letter to Secretary Austin. There's been some concern about the efforts that we are doing in support of Ukraine starting to jeopardize maybe or reprioritize the Pentagon's focus away from our own DoD programs and away from our own readiness and development efforts. So I sent a letter to Secretary of Defense Austin in the wake of some statements made by folks on his team about, hey, we may at some point need to start looking at how this is impacting American readiness and warfighting capabilities. Asking him to explain how are we taking care of American supply chain so that our programs, our own military, is not being cannibalized or sacrificed, while we are also supporting the efforts and the weapons and humanitarian aid going to the Ukraine. So this is a key oversight responsibility that we have, and I assure you we're going to keep digging at this until we know for sure that our support for Ukraine is as important and valuable as that is, and the fruits of that are real. That it's not coming at the expense of our own troops' welfare and our readiness and our ability to effectively fight a two-front war in a very hostile environment. So looking forward for that response. As a party, we passed the HR 21, which is the the Strategic Production Response Act. What this does is it forces the president to, if he's pulling out of the oil reserves in a non-emergency manner, to actually have a plan to replace those. So if you recall, last week we passed a bill that prevents the president from selling those reserves to China, which is very important. That got passed through the House. This requires now the White House to have a plan to refill those reserves before they draw on them in a non-emergency scenario. So very important pieces of legislation, tremendous committees. We're doing good things here. The majority, we had something like, something close to 80 votes, I think, this week in the span of just a couple of days. Very efficient, very effective. We're moving faster. We're getting the right legislation to protect the country, to get the country to be prioritized over other things, which is fantastic. But like I said, as always, constituent services is the most important thing that we can do as representatives in Congress. We had a tremendous success story. An active duty, former active duty Air Force officer who unfortunately was not able to get naturalized as a U.S. citizen while he was on active duty. Our office was able to help him expedite that process, and he is now officially a U.S. citizen. So after serving his beautiful country, now being able to call himself an American citizen is a tremendous honor. We were honored to help him through that process. So if you have similar needs, by the way, I think it's important. I'm going to be probably introducing a bill here shortly that says if you serve active duty and for 5 years and discharged with an honorable discharge, that you would be granted automatic citizenship with that service. I think that's very important for our troops to know. But please help us help you for constituent services, issues with the IRS, Social Security, VA. We can make things a lot easier, and we've got a fantastic team to help you. So as always, again, visit the website, mikegarcia.house.gov, subscribe to the newsletter, and look forward to seeing you guys in the district.